Byron, every week it seems like we come in and say, get this guy involved, get that guy involved. Well, you got everybody involved, right? I mean, I don't think it could look any better than it did last Sunday in terms of, guys making plays. So, I mean, that's the best picture, right? You hope to do that all the time, but just describe what it's like to be able to, as a play caller or quarterback, to do that, right? To go where the ball's supposed to go and know that you got so many different options.
The coach in me sees the full plays where it didn't go. That's the crazy part in it, right? To see what we left out there, to be honest with you. Yeah, because there was still something out there. So, I mean, we got a good group. We got a good group that put the work in. They come to practice to make sure they're in the right spot. They're doing the right things. They show up. They love the responsibilities that they have. They take advantage of that. They embrace it. And it allows a bunch of guys to just go out there and just play. Just play. No one has to ask for anything. Just do your job, get open. There's only one ball, so somebody's getting it. So only thing you can do is get open. So you make sure you open and assume that the other guys are getting open too. So you got to get open. And that's what I try to preach to them and talk to them about, just getting open, getting to your spots, getting to where you need to be, and making sure we're all on the same page. Obviously, every week you're not going to have games like that where that's the outcome from a yardage standpoint. But just the way we approach it, the way we attack it, that's the way we see the game of football.
I know you're on to the Eagles game, but your quarterback threw 5 touchdowns, over 400 passing yards. At what point did you find out that he had injured his thumb?
Very late in the game. Very late in the game, but it's football. It's football. Guys get banged up every time they play. It's expected. It's a physical game, a violent sport. It comes for every position, so we understand this football, just part of it.
And obviously, you have done this at the highest level, and certainly I have not. So in your right throwing hand, when you have a thumb injury like that, how does it affect your throwing?
It's individual. It's all in the person of what happened, what really happened at any injury, right? So it's really hard to answer that question. That's really a question for Tom. He had a better idea of answering that because he can tell you how much, discomfort he's having.
Byron, with a short week like this, obviously even shorter on the road, if you will, what are the keys from a coaching standpoint to limiting the time factor and how that impacts what you're able to do on Thursday night?
You wish you could make the day 30 hours, You wish you could, have a few 30-hour days. I think the most important part is the preparation standpoint of it. Have a good idea of who we're playing against. Don't allow the short week to be an excuse of not doing what we do week in and week out. This group do a great job of preparation, getting prepared for who we're getting ready to play, because each Sunday is going to be different, or each Thursday, each game is going to be different, and we need to know what we need to do to give ourselves an opportunity to win that game that day. So that's what we're trying to do now, making sure we're doing all the preparation from our standpoint to make sure we can try to play our best football. Our goal is to try to play our best football every time we step out there.
How do you replicate, though, that type of scoring explosion that you guys had, especially late in the game against the Dolphins? How can you replicate that? I know it's harder to do it on the road, but how can you kind of replicate that?
Well, I don't really see it like that. I see it as just going out and playing our best football. And if that's scoring a bunch of points, it's scoring a bunch of points. If it's not, it's not. But whatever we do, let's try to put ourselves in position to help the team win the football game. That's really how we approach it. The way we attack teams is going to be the way we attack teams. Now, what the outcome is going to come out of that, there's a lot of determining factors in that. But we're just trying to prepare and get ourselves ready to play our best every time we step out there on the field, and we're able to live with the outcome because of the preparation, because of the work we put in it. As long as we give our best effort and go out there, we accept the results.
Byron, what concerns you when you look at the Philadelphia defense, when you put them on tape? What do you see?
You see players everywhere. You see a physical defense. You see them getting after the quarterback. You see all guys with their hand in the ground, collapsing the pocket. You see them tackling the football in front of them. They got great defensive backs. They got great players on every level. You know what I mean? Veteran guys that know how to play. Some of these guys we played against, savvy guys on defense that know how to make plays, that have made a lot of plays in this league. So when you cut the tape on, it don't take long to see the athleticism that they have on there and the physicality that they bring to every football game.
Byron, the running game is really starting to come on. Leonard Fournette. How much of that is like Lenny? How much of that is the entire unit? What do you think's been the reason lately?
Well, I think it starts with me. I think I've given both of those guys more opportunities. Really, the way the game has gone, they've had more opportunities to do what they do. I told you guys a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't nothing that Lenny and Rowe was doing. It was really the way some of the football games turned out for us early in the year. And I just had to do a better job of getting these guys the ball so they can make the plays that they're making. So these guys come to work every day, and they just showcasing the skill set that they got. But there's just more opportunities with the guys that we got, and that's what we're seeing.
It was a year ago, Byron, you guys were in a different place, right? You're only 5 weeks into a new quarterback and system and all that, right? But what can you learn from last year at Chicago in a short week where you guys didn't play your best game, to say the least?
Well, I looked at it kind of like the Patriot week was one of those type of games, too, that we would have let get away from us in the past when we didn't play our best football. We still found a way to win that football game. That's the key to every good football team. Sometimes you don't have your best out there. Can you still find a way to win the football game? And that's really how we approach it, or at least try to do enough to put our hand in the pile to help from our part, knowing that there's 3 phases in winning the football game. But we just try to make sure we put our hand in the pile and help any way we can to just try to win the game, really.
Byron, everyone will say they want to be balanced, and I know earlier in the year we talked about the run game, but in all reality, do you have to be when you guys can sling it the way that you sling it? I mean, is it tough to want to force run the football when you know you have a first option, a second option, a third option that are all like Pro Bowlers? Do you have to do that?
Yeah, but I see the run kind of like that, too. I see the run as, man, I'm giving Rojo and Lenny opportunities to run this ball. And I view them guys the same way that I view our group of wide receivers. I think they're unique with the ball in their hands. So I'm never, turning down to runs, but we're just getting our players the ball. And it's just so happened we got a lot of players that play wide receiver, tight end, that receive the ball by catching it. So we're just trying to get whoever the ball. We're trying to get all our guys the ball, get it to them as much as possible, and just try to have as much success as possible.
Because you have more continuity now as an offense, and you've got those new pieces now have really assimilated. I've got to imagine I don't want to say easier because nothing is ever easy, but when you are preparing on a short week and you're not going to get as many practice reps in that week, does it make your job, I guess, a little more seamless? Preparing on a short week, knowing that we've got a group of guys who have been together for a while and they've done this before.
Yeah, it helps. It helps because we got an understanding of what we're doing as a whole. We don't have to do anything new. We're going to do what we do, and we're just going to try. I'm going to try to put these guys in position to have success at doing what we do. It's when you have a short week like this, you kind of just lean on the things that you are, what you are. That's both teams, really. Home team and away team tend to lean on what they are. And I'm quite sure both teams will do the same. We both will lean on who we believe we are, and we're just trying to have success and execute. It's always tough, right? It's always tough to play a Thursday night game, especially for us on the road. It'll be our 3rd game in 11 days. We started this thing in flying to L.A., getting back 2 a.m., flying when it was in New England, and getting back 4:30, 5 a.m. So it's been a tough 10, days for this group, but I like the resilience in this group. We're ready to do what we need to do to put our hand in the pile and help us try to win this football game tomorrow.
Byron, Sunday we saw some creativity in how you used Godwin. He had pop passes, he had the tunnel screens. Is he, when you think about versatility, is he the most versatile of the receivers you have, right?
He does it all, right? He does it all. We ask him to block. I ask him to block linemen. I ask him to block linebackers. I ask a lot of Chris, right? I put him in a lot of situations where I trust that he's going to do the right thing even if he's in a bad situation. So to have someone like that you could depend on from that wide receiver position. I'm asking him to block 250-pound guys sometime. And he hold his own. So to have someone like that, you're appreciative as a coach, really, because he makes it a little easier for you when you can say, hey, I can put my receiver on this defensive end, and you like your chances. Anytime you could do that, that's the blessing to have a player like that. But Chris has been that since we got here. He's been that type of player, special guy, unique guy that can do a lot of different things.
Have you seen Brady better than he was last Sunday since you've been here?
Throwing the ball, picking it up.
Anticipation, blitz, all that.
Oh no, we'll see. We'll see.
Anything else?
I got you. Y'all have a go.
We talked